Hello everyone, sorry it's been a long time since I've done a decent video. I've gone live a couple of times, but they're not the kind of videos you seem to like because they don't seem to get many views. Today I'm going to go out with my wing. I'm going to fly my wing and I'm going to show you my wing now. And here it is. So this is a Skywalker X5. I do have an X6, which is a bigger one over there. That's kind of out of commission at the moment, or up for sale for parts or whatever. But this is my X5, which one we are going to fly today. We've got space up front there for the GoPro. We've got UHF, by the means of easy UHF. None of that TBS crossfire nonsense. We've got proper UHF on here. Then we got a VAS antenna up there, skew planer, foldable prop, which is good, so we're not going to break our prop when we come in for landing. Inside the machine we've got a Eagle Tree Vector as our flight controller. If I can get this off without breaking it. There we go. So inside is an Eagle Tree Vector flight controller with GPS. So that's going to do our return to home. It's going to help with things like loiter, so it'll just fly around in a circle while I prepare myself. Or if I need to do anything, you can do all kinds of things with that. Basically like a DJI NASA for a plane. Think of it that way. So that's the plane, not too much really to it. I've got a Runcam Eagle up front, 16:9. I remember Bruce from RC Model Review saying that they were pretty good for wings, so I'll put that in there. And now I have sold my HD2 goggles because they are 4x3, and I've got some HD 3s which have been blinged out. So it'll be my first time using HD 3s today. Check out that awesome customized strap there. If you're interested in these kind of customized strap things, I will put a link in the description. But yeah, if your strap's starting to get a bit tired and a bit shabby, why not upgrade it with something of your own on there? Anyway, over to the ground station. I may have to turn this around because it's a little bit dark. So there's actually two antennas on this. We got another VAS antenna on top there, video aerial systems. That's not focusing on it. Going to one receiver, and we have another receiver here going to, whoa, this beast, which should give us some range, some decent range. Obviously this is directional, so we need to have that pointing in the general direction of the aircraft at all times. To mix them two up together, we've got this box of trickery down here. Gosh, I've totally forgot what this is called. Totally forgot. I'm a total noob to all of this. So I've just been wiring things up willy-nilly. So my video comes down on 1.2 from an 800 milliwatt transmitter off there into here, into the little box, and then get spread out. So I've got two video outs, one to go to goggles, another to go to another pair of goggles, and another goes to the video transmitter here. So this video transmitter is 5.8, so I can have the video come down on 1.2, transmit back out on 5.8. What this allows me to do is have my normal goggles on with my normal receiver. I don't have to plug in, and everyone else around with normal goggles can actually tune in and watch as well. They don't have to have a 5.8, sorry, the 1.2 system. Then we've got a fold out screen here, so before launch I can check things. I don't have to keep taking my goggles on and off. I can check for the satellites and things and go through my OSD to set things up. Also, if anyone who doesn't have goggles, they can watch it here. I've just added voltage up in here so I can keep an eye on the main battery voltage when we're flying, because obviously I don't want my receiver system dying. If it did, I would just click it into return to home. It will come home and loiter above me, just going around in a circle. Then I can land it line of sight. Over here I've got a repeater. So you can see we've got the easy UHF as I mentioned earlier. No TBS nonsense here. It doesn't seem to want to focus on it. There we go. And we've got a diamond whip antenna here as well, just to give us that extra range. Now, I don't actually plug my radio into this. I could have this hanging off the back of my radio and sucking all the life out of the radio and causing problems, because this actually can go up to 2 watts of power, which is super high power, and even just normal low power on this will stop you from opening your car doors and things. So this can be put well away, out the way, somewhere in the field if I want to, on top of a car, whatever. And then my normal 2.4 transmits to a 2.4 receiver, which is round there, and then that 2.4 goes into here and gets converted and sent back out in UHF. So just like this receives 1.2 and then puts it back out at 5.8, this receives 2.4 and sends it out on UHF. So it's a little repeater. So I just sit there with my normal goggles on and my normal radio, nothing hanging on and off it, and I can just fly. So that's the basics of all of this. Let's head up to Lim and meet the boys, and we're going to go for a fly. So we just turned up at the field. I say we, I have. We've got Scott up flying his Drac at the moment. These are hitting around almost 100 miles an hour, and then backing off depending on which way they're going because of the wind, down to about 80 miles an hour. Pretty cool, the Dracs, very big machines. I'll give you a close-up of one now.
Whoa, no, 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 no. That is only ending up in one place.
That's a Drac. Is this your, whose is this one? Yours, Ben?
Gav's.
Gav's. Gav's got all the big toys.
You tell it's Gav's, servers are in the wrong place.
The right place for you, fine. Smoothest one here.
So everyone's using repeaters and ground station repeaters.
It's a bit smoother up here. What's it doing?
Do me to leave it for you?
Oh, is it banking right? See this shit? I know, that's like I could tell over there.
Is it banking?
Yeah, 2D holders.
We've got Ben's Drac over here, going for the red colour scheme again. He's just switched over to Eagle Tree Vector, like the rest of us, and he's got 8,000 Energy graphene in there. Monster of a battery. I think he flew for around 18 minutes or so on that. These are really, really fast machines, and they fly very locked in. Mine kind of bounces around a little bit because it's a bit smaller, as you can see. So he is also repeating out on 5.8. That's the Manchester Ship Canal you can see there on the right. On the left you've got your speed, 70 odd miles an hour. On the right you've got your height, 80 meters. So this is actually my first flight of the day. Now I'm very new to flying wings, so I was very nervous taking off, and what made things worse is that the GPS at the top, which is currently flashing around 5 and 6, was fluctuating and causing me to be a bit nervous in case I went into return to launch. It's also very important for the GPS to be working so you can use your radar, so you can actually use that to fly home and know roughly where you are. So if we look in the center of the screen, you can see the circle, so that's basically me in my home position, and up is basically in front of me, and down is below me. Just in front of that you can see the triangle, which is now heading towards the circle, so that means I'm actually heading towards myself. The triangle is basically the plane, so you can see I'm just getting towards myself, and then I bank left and start heading away. Now, because I started to have problems with the GPS, well, you'll notice now I've done actually a 180 and going back the way I came, yet my radar is saying I'm still flying somewhere behind myself, and I'm just turning around now and heading back towards myself, but in front you can just see just then it just changed and now gives me the correct readings to show that I'm heading towards myself. So 1 second it was saying I was behind myself, and then all of a sudden it was saying I was back in front of myself. So this really didn't give me any confidence when I was flying, and I thought I'm gonna have to bring this in and land and see what's going on. So I did my best and spun it round and came into the landing spot, albeit a little bit wobbly. All I've done was basically turn it off and then leave it in the field for a bit longer this time to try and acquire more satellites. Once I got about 10 and it didn't really get above that, so I thought let's chuck it up in the air and go from there. So I'm still learning how to actually launch these. I kind of throw it over my head using my right hand and then quickly get my hands on the control, give it a good bunch of power and get it up in the air. So you see I've wanged it right up into about 86 meters high there. On the right hand side you can see the altitude, which is currently 95, 94, 94, 95, 96. So I've actually got this in loiter mode right now, and all that's going to do is, in its current position, it's just going to keep on spinning itself around in a circle until I tell it to do something. So if I speed this up, you'll see that it's just staying in the same position, going round and round until I tell it what to do. So basically right now all I'm doing is walking back to my car and plugging into my ground station, so I'm hardwired into it. And you'll see once I'm comfortable I switch into 2D no hold, so that's just going to keep the plane level for me, although I am banking right there. And finally everything started to go right for me. You can see we're actually getting some more satellites now. We've actually got 11, and I'm heading down the Manchester Ship Canal, albeit I have sped this footage up. And just as I start to reach this kind of industrial area, I thought I'll turn around and try and stick around the more rural areas. So we're pulling a left turn. Looking at the very bottom, you can see it says 2.1 mi, so we're actually out by 2.1 miles, and you can see that the video is really good, and our RSSI is currently, as we're heading home, about 90%. So this is on low power as well. Don't forget I can put this into medium and high power. So it seems to have dropped a couple of percent as I've turned around to head home. The RSSI is in the very top left hand corner if you're wondering which one that is. So just in case you're thinking that this video is going to be all DVR footage, it's not. I will have some HD footage coming up shortly, but before that I'm just going to talk to you a little bit more about the settings and things that you're seeing on the screen. So looking at the left hand side there with the timer going up, that's how long I've actually been flying. You can see that it then says 2DH underneath, so that's our flight mode, which is 2D hold. So basically it's going to keep the craft very level, stop it from flipping over. It's also going to hold the position or the heading that I'm flying in, as well as the altitude. Just below that you've then got your speed in miles an hour, so we're currently doing 47 miles an hour. And as I mentioned at the very bottom, we've got it currently saying 1.4, so that's 1.4 miles out. Underneath that is slowly going up with a C next to it. That's the cumulative distance I've travelled, so 4.3 miles total in this current flight. Moving to the right hand side, you can kind of see like a scrolling graph. So this basically shows me if I'm climbing or descending, and shows it in a graphical form. Then just above that you can see we've got a value of 92, so that's actually meters, and that's how high we are. Then above that we've got milliamps. This is actually the milliamps used, and above that we've got our current voltage at 14.8. Moving left you can see the amps that we're pulling, currently at 19, and then the timer with the R basically means how much time we roughly have left of the flight with the current throttle value that we have on at the moment. And finally, in the very top of the screen you can see a triangle. Basically this triangle is pointing towards my home direction, and there you can just see Ben sweeping over me with the DRAC. Those machines really do shift, but mine is a lot more efficient. You can see I'm actually down to around 14 amps at the minute, somewhere around 40 miles an hour, so I can just tick over and stay in the air for quite a long time. I've just gone and put the power right up. You see we're now pulling 30 amps, and our time has gone down to 6 minutes. So I'm trying to chase him down and come in for a tandem landing. Coming in for a landing always makes me quite nervous. I haven't actually looked up the stall speed for the Skywalker X5, so I tend to come in quite hot. I'll have to look that up so I can try and stay just above the stall speed before landing. So here I just drop it right down and pull him full back on the stick until basically it hits the ground. Now the next flight was really awesome, so I suggest you watch this bit because it always gives me goosebumps when I see it. So I'm flying along and then Ben just comes over me like something from Star Wars and just shoots around, and it's just awesome with those red LEDs on the back. It really helps me spot him when we're up in the air. So we actually got 4 planes up in the air, and it was such a good feeling to be, you know, a few miles out, skimming around over all the fields, over farms, between the trees and things, because we really did get down low, and I'll show you some of that on the HD footage now.
To find tonight. today.
So as you saw, some amazing footage there. Most of that was shot by Scott, who was at the back of the pack. Leading the pack we had Gav with a Drac. Just after Gav we had Mr. Ben, also in a Drac. Then there was me flying my X5, and then just at the very back, holding up the tail, was Scott, again using a Drac. So I'm starting to feel like I need to get a Drac now. Those machines, just as you can see, they're very locked in the air. They seem to produce such amazing, clean, smooth footage. They are certainly a machine I'm considering to actually move over to. I don't know. We're going to stick with my X5 for a little longer. I've got a mini Talon build going on at the moment, but if they don't work out, then it looks like I'll be heading towards the Drac. Because at moments during the flight, I had to ask them to slow down a bit to around 50 miles an hour because I had a headwind, and because my machine was a little bit lighter than theirs, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't keep up with them, so they would slow down to 50 miles an hour, and I'd punch it and stay with them. So we'll see what the future holds. I wanted to give a shout out to Scott for sending me the footage, also Ben for sending this footage that you've just been watching. You can see that he's just tracking along the Manchester Ship Canal here, heading towards Manchester in fact, and we've got Gav just ahead of him with his similarly coloured Drac. Anyway, that's it for today's video. We are going to go out and do a lot more flying, and possibly heading to North Wales where all the mountains are, and do some dives down them too. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to let this video play itself out. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.